Hey, dear restless mind. Tonight, imagine the golden glow of torchlight flickering across limestone walls etched with hieroglyphs, the air thick with the scent of lotus incense, and the distant murmur of the Nile's waters lapping against reed boats. Silk-like linen curtains sway gently in the evening breeze, brushing past bronze lamps that cast dancing shadows. You're seated on a woven mat in a grand hall, surrounded by scribes scribbling on papyrus, priests chanting hymns that echo like the voice of the gods, and nobles fanning themselves with ostrich feathers. Beyond the temple, the stars wheel above pyramids that pierce the sky like eternal sentinels. Inside, you're not just a visitor, you're a witness to a civilization that awed with its monuments, mystified with its rituals, and embraced customs that to them were as natural as the flood of the Nile. Yet to you, centuries later, they feel utterly otherworldly. You'd probably never survive a single ancient Egyptian day. But don't worry, I'll guide you safely through. So, before we go any further, if this quiet company helps, you can gently tap like and subscribe, but only if it feels right to your heart. And hey, I'd love to know where you're listening from. Maybe lying awake in Cairo, or drifting in a quiet room in Paris. Drop your time and place below so none of us feel alone tonight. Now, dim the lights, let your shoulders relax, and let's begin tonight's slow, strange journey together here on Timeless Sleep. You open your eyes wider as the pharaoh's court comes into focus. Ramses, or perhaps Akhenaten, depending on the dynasty, sits on a throne of electrum, raised high enough to make even the tallest vizier look like a humble servant awaiting divine decree. His kilt gleams with pleats of fine linen, adorned with the uraeus cobra poised to strike. Around him, attendants move with the grace of shadows. You try to remind yourself this was a fairy tale kingdom, the place where rivers nourished life annually, where scribes invented writing that lasted millennia, and where the idea of a ruler wasn't just a king but a god incarnate, as if the heavens themselves had appointed him the job. The first thing that startles you is how normal all of this felt to them. Egypt's strict polytheistic worldview sorted every single thing into categories of Ma'at, order, and Isfit, chaos, divine and profane. The Nile, divine; deserts, chaotic; animal mummies, holy; certain foods, taboo. Your kitchen would have been declared a ritual site. These weren't just quirky guidelines. They were the scaffolding of existence, laws that defined whether you could eat pork, touch a mummy, or sleep without invoking the god's protection gnawing at your conscience. For Egyptians, divinity wasn't just temple visits, it was a cosmic dance, fought with every meal, every bath, every dream politely interpreted by priests. You awakened before dawn in a modest mud-brick house in Setmat, a village nestled on the Nile's west bank, near the sacred necropolis of Thebes. The air is cool, heavy with the scent of river silt and the faint smoke of last night's cooking fire. You're Mary, a 14-year-old boy, son of Tehotep, a farmer, and Nefert, a weaver. Your home is simple, 2 rooms with packed earth floors covered in reed mats, their edges frayed from years of footsteps. A small courtyard opens to the sky, where a clay oven glows faintly and a wooden loom stands ready for your mother's skilled hands. In a niche by the door, a small statue of Base, the dwarf-like protector god, with a lion's mane and protruding tongue, watches over your family. His grotesque face, meant to scare evil spirits, is as familiar as your own reflection. Your younger sister, T, sleeps nearby on a mat, clutching a clay doll dressed in scraps of linen, her breathing soft in the pre-dawn hush. Your father stirs outside, his silhouette moving against the fading stars as he checks. The irrigation canal that feeds your barley fields a lifeline in this arid land. The world you know is ruled by Mat, the goddess of truth, justice, balance, and order. Depicted with an ostrich feather on her head, Mat is not just a deity. She's the heartbeat of existence, the principle that keeps the Nile flowing, the crops growing, and the sun rising. Without Mat, Isfit chaos disorder, the red desert, beyond the fertile black land would swallow everything. The pyramid texts, ancient spells carved in pharaohs' tombs, call Mat the foundation of creation, born when Ra separated sky from earth. Your family, like all Egyptians, lives to uphold her order, every act a small ritual to keep chaos at bay. You rise from your woven mat, your body stiff from sleeping on the hard floor, and step to a clay jar in the courtyard. The water, drawn yesterday from the Nile, is cool as you splash your face, hands, and feet, murmuring a prayer, Hail Ra, who rises in glory, grant us Mat this day. The act is simple, but sacred cleanliness is the first step to aligning with the gods. Your mother hands you a linen kilt, its fibers woven from flax grown in your fields, crisp and pure. Wool, from animals, is impure, a whisper of Isfit, forbidden in sacred spaces like temples. You tie the kilt with a leather belt, slip on sandals woven from papyrus reeds, and glance at your reflection in a polished bronze mirror, your shaved head gleaming, a mark of purity for a boy training to be a scribe. Breakfast is a quiet affair in the courtyard, the sky now blushing pink as Ra begins his journey. Your mother serves flatbread made from emar wheat, its crust warm and slightly charred, alongside onions, dried figs, and a clay cup of barley beer, the liquid bread that sustains even children. Beer, brewed by women like Nefert, is a gift of Osiris, the god of fertility and the afterlife, its frothy taste sweetened with dates. Before eating, your father crumbles a bit of bread and places it before Bes's statue, whispering, "Protect our hearth, O Base." This offering ensures the god's favor, warding off spirits of chaos that lurk in the shadows. The Ebers Papyrus, a medical scroll you'll later study, warns that impure food invites disease, a sign of Isfet's intrusion. Your family eats carefully, hands washed with water and a pinch of natron, the purifying salt from Wadi Natron. Pork, taboo for priests and temple-goers, is absent today, as you'll visit the temple later. Fish, onions, and bread are safe, blessed by the gods who sustain the land. As the sun climbs, you follow your father to the fields in Paray, the planting season, when the Nile's flood has receded, leaving behind the rich, black silt that gives Egypt its name. Kemet, the village of Setmat, home to farmers, craftsmen, and tomb builders, buzzes with activity. Men carry wooden hoes and plows, women balance water jars on their heads, and children herd geese or chase birds with slings. Your family's fields, part of the pharaoh's vast estates, are divided by irrigation canals, dug and maintained by the village men under the watchful eye of a scribe. These canals, fed by the Nile, are engineering marvels, channeling water to crops in a land where rain is a myth. Your father, broad-shouldered and calloused, leads the way, singing a hymn to Hopi, the Nile god. You make the land green, O Hopi, bringer of abundance. The words, passed down through generations, echo in the hymn to the Nile, a text you'll copy in scribe school. You scatter barley seeds, your fingers sinking into the cool, damp soil, while your younger brother, Amen, trails behind, shooing sparrows with a sling. Your aunt Kemsit, her hands stained with indigo from dyeing linen, weeds nearby, her laughter mixing with the creak of a shadufa, wooden lever lifting Nile water into channels. The work is backbreaking, your shoulders aching by noon, but it's sacred. Growing food feeds not just your family but the pharaoh's granaries, ensuring Mat's order. Taxes, paid in grain, support the temples, the army, and the great works like Ramses' temples at Abu Simbel. Back home, your mother is a whirlwind of activity. She grinds emmer wheat on a stone quern, her movements rhythmic, almost meditative, the flour dusting her hands like desert sand. Her loom, strung with flax threads, hums as she weaves linen for the family, and for trade a bolt of fine cloth can buy a bronze knife or a pair of sandals. Women in Egypt hold surprising power, a fact that would shock outsiders like the Greek historian Herodotus, who visited centuries later. Nefert owns a small plot of land, inherited from her mother, and could pass it to tea. She once told you of a neighbor who divorced her husband for neglect, taking half his goods by law, a right upheld by Mat's justice. As recorded in Deir el-Medina's legal astraca, your mother's friend, Izit, serves as a priestess of Hathor, her voice rising in temple songs to the goddess of love and music. Women's roles, weaver, landowner, priestessa, threads in Mat's tapestry, as vital as men's. Your mother pauses to braid T's hair, weaving in a blue faience bead for protection, a charm against the evil eye. T, only 8, mimics her mother's work, grinding a small stone against a pebble, dreaming of her own loom someday. Midday, you gather under a sycamore tree by the Nile, its shade a relief from Ra's unrelenting gaze. Lunch is simple: bread, salted fish caught with nets, and sweet dates plucked from a nearby palm. Your father tells the story of Osiris, murdered by Seth, the god of chaos, then resurrected by Isis to rule the Duat, the underworld. Live rightly, he says, his voice low, so your heart weighs light against Mat's feather. The afterlife looms large in your mind. After death, Anubis will weigh your heart against Mat's feather on a golden scale. A light heart, pure of sin, enters Aru, the eternal reed fields. A heavy heart, weighed by lies or greed, is devoured by Ammit, the crocodile lion hippo beast. You touch the scarab amulet at your neck, its green faience cool against your skin, a symbol of rebirth inspired by the dung beetle cycle. The Book of the Dead, a collection of spells you'll study, promises protection for the soul. Your father's tale, drawn from myths older than the pyramids, reminds you that every act honesty, kindness, duty shapes your heart's fate. After lunch, you head to the House of Life in the temple complex, a sandstone maze of columns painted with lotuses, falcons, and scenes of pharaohs smiting enemies. You're training to be a scribe, a rare privilege for a farmer's son, chosen for your quick mind. Only 1% of Egyptians are literate, and scribes are the backbone of Mat's order, recording taxes, laws, and hymns. The temple hums with activity. Priests purify themselves in the sacred lake, their shaved heads gleaming, their linen kilts spotless. They avoid wool, blood, or anything impure, as the pyramid texts demand. A priestess plays a sistrum, its rattle pleasing Hathor. You pause at a stone basin, washing your hands and feet with natron-mixed water, a ritual to enter this sacred space. Your teacher, Senemet, a scribe with ink-stained fingers and a stern gaze, sits cross-legged on a mat, a papyrus scroll on his lap. He hands you a potsherd cheaper than papyrus for practice sand, a reed pen dipped in black ink made from soot. Write the name of Ra, he commands. You trace the signs, a sun disk, a reed, a mouth, your hand trembling under his scrutiny. A scribe's hands are soft, his mind sharp. He quotes from the instructions of a Menumope, a text urging discipline. You copy lines from the hymn to the Nile, memorizing its praise of Happy's flood. The work is grueling hours, hunched over, eyes straining, fingers cramping, but it promises a life above the fields, perhaps serving the vizier or even the pharaoh in Memphis. The temple is a world apart, a microcosm of Mat. Priests tend Omenu's statue in a dark sanctum, washing it with natron water, dressing it in fresh linen, offering bread and beer. These acts, you're taught, ensure Ra's journey, sustaining the cosmos. A procession passes, carrying Hathor's statue to bless the fields, the crowd chanting, "Hail Hathor, Lady of Joy." Festivals like Opet, where Amon's bark sails to Karnak, unite the village in worship. You've joined them, marveling at dancers in beaded dresses, sistrums rattling, beer flowing like the Nile. These moments, joyful yet sacred, reinforce Mat, binding human and divine. Back home, the sun dips, painting the sky crimson. Your family gathers in the courtyard for dinner, lentil stew with garlic and goose, spiced with coriander from a neighbor's garden. Your father pours beer, offering a sip to the earth for Hopi, a ritual as old as the hymn to the Nile. Tea tells a story of Bastet, the cat goddess, whose sacred feline prowls your home, its eyes glinting as it hunts rats. Killing a cat, even by accident, brings heavy penalties. Herodotus later noted a man fined grain for such a crime. You play Senet, a board game of strategy, betting dry dates. Tea giggles as she moves her pawn, her joy a small victory for Mat's harmony. Your mother's friend is it, the priestess, visits her linen dress adorned with Hathor's cow horns. She speaks of temple duties, singing hymns to soothe the goddess. Women's roles, weaver, landowner, priestess, are vital, as Deir el-Medina records show, where women owned property and won legal disputes. Education shapes your days. While tea learns weaving and cooking, you study hieratic script, math, calculating grain yields, pyramid volumes, and astronomy, tracking Sirius for the flood. Noble girls, like Akhenaten, learn to read for temple roles, but most girls train domestically. Your friend Hori, dreaming of soldiering, practices archery, hoping to join Ramses' army. Soldiers, vital to Mat's defense, patrol Nubia or build pyramids in peacetime, rewarded with land, as Amarna letters describe. You admire their strength, but prefer the scribe's path, your hands unstained by field labor. The village economy thrives on barter, not coins. A merchant from punt trades myrrh for linen, using Deben weights of copper. Your father swaps barley for a bronze knife. Markets hum with women haggling, as Herodotus observed, their voices rising over donkey brays. Artisans in workshops carve statues, weave baskets, craft faience beads. Deir el-Medinas, tomb builders, skilled craftsmen, live better than farmers, with grain and beer rations. Their astrocoppery fragments, Rio, daily life, love letters, legal disputes, even a strike when rations were late, a bold act for Matt's justice. As night falls, you climb to the flat roof, the air cooling, the Milky Way, a Nile of the sky. Your father points to Sirius, herald of the flood. You pray to Isis, protector of the dead, for your grandfather, whose tomb you'll visit at the next festival. Dreams are omens, read by priests. A falcon in your sleep might mean Horus's favor. You sleep under a linen sheet, a Vegetai amulet tucked close, warding off Isfet's spirits. The Book of the Dead promises a pure heart, ensures Aru's peace. The pharaoh, in his Memphis palace, performs dawn rites to sustain Ra, his said festival, renewing divine strength. Nobles manage estates, scribes tally grain, soldiers guard borders, farmers feed the land. All roles in Matt's order. Slaves, often war captives, labor in mines but can gain freedom, their work part of the balance. Herodotus marveled at Egypt's order, eating outdoors, women trading, priests shaving, daily all strange to Greeks, normal to you. Your day, from dawn's prayer to night's rest, is a delicate weave. Every seed sown him sung, law kept, holds back chaos. You, Mary, are a thread in Matt's tapestry, your life a quiet prayer to keep the world turning. The night is deep in Set Mat, a village on the Nile's west bank near Thebes, 1250 BCE. The air is warm, heavy with the scent of river silt, and the faint sharp tang of natron, the purifying salt your mother used to scrub the clay dishes after dinner. You, Mary, a 14-year-old scrib in training, lie on your reed mat, unable to sleep. The soft rustle of linen curtains and the distant croak of frogs along the Nile fill the quiet. Your freshly washed kilt, woven from flax by your mother Nefert, lies folded nearby, its crisp folds a testament to purity. At your neck, a faience scarab amulet rests cool against your skin, warding off the spirits of Isfet chaos that lurk in the dark. In ancient Egypt, cleanliness isn't just comfort, it's a sacred duty, a thread in the cosmic tapestry of Mat, the goddess of truth, balance and order. Every splash of water, every scrubbed surface, every shaved hair is a battle to keep chaos at bay. To you, these rituals are as natural as the Nile's flood, but to an outsider, they'd seem an obsessive dance where dirt is danger and purity is divine. Settle in, dear restless mind, and let's walk through a day in your village, where hygiene is worship, and every act of cleansing upholds the god's order. If this quiet company soothes your sleepless night, tap like or subscribe if it feels right, and tell me, where are you listening from? A restless bed in London at 3 a.m., or a quiet room in Karachi as the morning stirs? Drop your time and place below so we're not alone. Now, dim the lights, let your shoulders relax, and let's dive into this slow, intricate tale of purity in ancient Egypt, where every wash is a prayer to keep the world whole. You awaken before dawn, the sky still a deep indigo, pierced by the first faint glow of Ra's rising. The mud brick house in Set Mat is silent, save for the soft breathing of your sister T, curled on her mat with a clay doll, and the faint crackle of the courtyard fire where your mother Nefert prepares to bake bread. Your father Tehotep is already outside, his silhouette moving against the stars as he checks the irrigation canal that feeds your barley fields. You rise, your body stiff from the hard floor, and step to a clay jar in the courtyard, its surface cool and beaded with dew. The water inside, drawn yesterday from the Nile, is sacred tied to Hopi, the god of the flood, and Isis, the mother of life. You splash your face, hands, and feet, the water chilling your skin as you murmur a prayer. O Isis, mother of purity, cleanse me for Ra's light. The act is simple but vital, aligning you with Mat, whose ostrich feather symbolizes the order that holds the cosmos together. The Ebers Papyrus, a medical scroll you'll study as a scribe, calls the body a temple, and defiling it invites disease. A sign of Isfet's chaos, your mother hands you a lump of natron, a coarse, white salt mined from the Wadi Natron, and you scrub your hands and arms, its gritty texture scouring away the night's impurities. Natron, you've learned from temple lessons, is the god's gift used to purify homes, bodies, and even the dead for their journey to the duot, the underworld. Your head is shaved, as required for boys' training as scribes, a mark of purity that mimics the priests. Hair, your father once explained, traps dirt and demons, a potential vessel for chaos. After shaving with a bronze razor, you collect the clippings in a small clay pot, to be buried later in a ritual to prevent evil spirits from using them. The Book of the Dead, a collection of spells you've glimpsed in temple scrolls, warns that stray hair can be wielded by Seth's minions, the god of disorder. Your linen kilt, woven by your mother from flax grown in your fields, is fresh and crisp, its plant fibers pure in Matt's eyes. Wool, derived from animals, is forbidden in sacred spaces. Animal origin carries a whiff of isfit, a subtle threat to order. You tie the kilt with a leather belt, slip on papyrus sandals, and check your reflection in a polished bronze mirror, your shaved head gleaming under the first rays of dawn. The mirror, a luxury traded for a bolt of linen, reflects your face, smooth and unblemished, ready for the day's duties. Breakfast is served in the courtyard, where the air smells of baking bread and the faint sweetness of figs. Your mother sets out flatbread, still warm from the clay oven, alongside sliced onions, dried figs, and clay cups of barley beer, its frothy surface flecked with date syrup. Beer, brewed by women like Nefert, is a staple, even for children. Its low alcohol content, nourishing and safe, a gift of Osiris, the god of fertility. Before eating, your family performs a small rite to uphold Mat. Your mother sprinkles a pinch of natron on the low wooden table, purifying its surface, and your father crumbles a bit of bread before the niche of Base, the protector god with a leering lion-maned face. "Guard our hearth, O Base," he whispers, ensuring the god's favor against spirits of chaos. The Kahun Papyrus, another medical text, warns that impure food can anger the stomach's spirits, bringing illness. A breach of Mat. Your family avoids pork today, a meat taboo for priests and temple visitors, as you'll visit the temple later for scribe lessons. Fish, onions, and bread are pure, blessed by the gods who sustain the land. You eat carefully, hands washed with natron water, the act as much worship as sustenance. After the meal, your mother scrubs the clay plates with a mixture of natron and Nile water, ensuring no food traces linger to attract disfit. The dishes, stacked neatly in a corner, gleam in the morning light, their cleanliness a small victory for order. As Ra climbs higher, you join the village's morning rhythm. Women carry jars to the Nile, their chatter mingling with the splash of water against the riverbank. Bathing is a daily ritual for all but the poorest, who use jars at home. The Nile, divine in its essence, is happy's gift, its waters a mirror of the heavens, as the pyramid texts describe. Defiling, its spitting, urinating, or washing soiled clothes, ungaze the gods, and risks communal punishment. You've seen villagers lashed for such offenses, their shame a warning etched in the village's memory. Men and women bathe in separate areas for modesty, women in secluded river bends, their laughter echoing softly. Your Aunt Kemsit, a weaver with indigo-stained hands, returns from her bath, her wet hair bound in a linen cloth, her skin glistening with a paste of natron and honey, a recipe from the Ebers papyrus to keep skin smooth and ward off evil spirits. She hums a hymn to Isis, her voice low, tying her cleansing to the divine. Menstruating women, like your mother during her cycle, isolate in small huts called sejim, as blood is too powerful for sacred spaces. The Kahun Papyrus prescribes 5 days of seclusion, followed by cleansing with natron, Nile water, and burning myrrh incense. Your mother follows this, retiring to a village hut tended by women, not out of shame, but reverence. Blood, tied to life and death, must be contained to preserve Mat. You head to the temple complex for scribe lessons, a sandstone maze of columns painted with lotuses, falcons, and scenes of Ramses II's smiting enemies. The temple, dedicated to Amun-Ra, is a world of absolute purity. At the entrance, you pause at a stone basin, washing your hands, feet, and face with water mixed with natron, its sharp scent stinging your nose. A priest, his head shaved and body glistening from his morning ablution, inspects you, his voice stern. No dirt, no hair, no blood. These rules, carved in temple inscriptions, ensure Mat's presence. Priests, the guardians of divine order, shave their entire bodies daily to avoid lice or hair, seen as impure, and wear only linen, avoiding wool's animal taint. Their diet excludes pork, beans, and certain fish, as the Ebers Papyrus notes, to maintain ritual purity. You're not a priest, but as a scribe in training, you mimic their standards. Your shaved head and clean kilt, a sign of devotion to Thoth, the god of writing. Inside the House of Life, you sit cross-legged with other boys. Copying hieratic script on Potsherd's papyrus is too costly for practice. Your teacher, Sennamet, a scribe with ink-stained fingers and a stern gaze, hands you a shard and a reed pen dipped in black ink, made from soot and gum. Write the name of Ammon, he commands. You trace the signs: a reed, a water ripple, a falcon, your hand trembling under his scrutiny. Impure hands defile words, he says, echoing the instructions of Amenemope, a text urging discipline. Ink spills are a minor sign, cleaned with natron water to restore order. The temple's inner sanctum, where priests tend Amun-Ra statue, is off limits to you. Only the pure-shaven, bathed, clad in spotless linen enter. The statue is washed daily with natron water, dressed in fresh linen, and offered pure bread and beer. Acts that sustain Mat and ensure Ra's journey across the sky. A priestess, her linen dress adorned with beads, plays a sistrum. Its rattle-pleasing Hathor, the goddess of music. The sound, sharp and rhythmic, fills the air, a reminder that purity extends to sound, to breath, to thought. Midday, you return home, the sun blazing like Ra's eye. Under a sycamore tree, your mother serves lunch, bread, salted Nile, fish, and dates, all prepared with care. She uses a bronze knife, cleaned with natron, to cut the fish, ensuring no impurity taints the meal. The Ebers Papyrus warns of demons in unclean vessels, linking dirt to disease. Your family's cat, sacred to Bastet, prowls nearby, its sleek form hunting rats that threaten grain stores. Cats are revered. Killing one, even by accident, brings severe punishment, as Herodotus later noted in his histories, describing a man fined grain for harming a cat. Your neighbor once paid such a fine, his act deemed a breach of Mat, a small crack in the cosmic order. The afternoon brings a festival for Hathor, and you prepare with extra care. At the temple gate, you rinse your mouth with natron water, purifying your breathwords, spoken to gods, must be clean. The procession is vibrant. Priests carry Hathor's statue, its gold face gleaming, while sistrums rattle and dancers swirl in beaded linen dresses. Offerings pile high: bread, beer, lotus, flowers, all inspected for purity. A blemished loaf or sour beer could anger Hathor, disrupting Mat. You join the crowd, chanting, "Hail Hathor, Lady of Joy," your heart light with devotion. Festivals like Opet or Wepetrenpet, the New Year, are communal acts of purity, binding village to cosmos. Herodotus marveled at these, noting Egyptians' meticulous cleanliness compared to Greek laxity. Back home, your mother sweeps the house, sprinkling natron on the floor to banish evil spirits. Your father, returning from the fields, bathes in the Nile, scrubbing with a paste of ash and clay, a commoner's soap. The village, well fed by a canal, is guarded to prevent pollution. The Edwin Smith Papyrus links impure water to sickness, a sign of Isfet's intrusion. When your sister T had a fever last month, your mother burned myrrh and recited spells to Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess of healing, blending magic and medicine. The Ebers Papyrus lists garlic for infections, honey for wounds, but prayers are just as vital. Your mother anoints tea with a lotion of olive oil and herbs, a protective ritual to soothe her skin and spirit. As night falls, the air cools, and the Milky Way, called the Nile of the sky, gleams above. Your family bathes again, a final cleansing before sleep. You rinse your mouth, spitting into a clay pot, to avoid polluting the earth, as temple teachings dictate. Dreams, you're told, can be tainted by impurity, so you sleep with a Wejitai amulet, its blue faience warding off Seth's chaos. The Book of the Dead promises that a pure body ensures a light heart in the afterlife, safe from Amit's devouring jaws. Your mother tucks a Tauret amulet, shaped like a pregnant hippo, under T's mat, protecting her dreams. Purity touches every corner of life. Priests shave daily, their linen spotless for Amen. Scribes like you keep hands clean for thought's wisdom. Farmers wash tools with Nile water to avoid field pollution. Women's cycles, childbirth, and even death handled by embalmers with Natranar, governed by Warbit. Herodotus in his histories noted Egyptians bathed twice daily, shave meticulously, and avoid impure foods like pork in temples, a stark contrast to Greek customs. To you, it's normal. Every scrub, every rinse, is a prayer to Mat, keeping chaos at bay. This day, from dawn's splash to night's final rinse, binds you to the cosmic order. Your clean body, your family's rituals, the village's care for the Nile are acts of worship. As you drift towards sleep, the Nile's soft murmur soothes you, a reminder that purity is Egypt's heartbeat, holding the world together in Mat's embrace. The village of Set Mat is hushed as you awaken before dawn, the sky a deep indigo, faintly kissed by Ra's approaching light. Your mud brick home, its walls whitewashed to reflect the sun, feels emptier without your grandfather's deep voice, which once filled the courtyard with stories of Osiris and the Nile. Senon, a farmer like your father Tehotep, died quietly in his sleep, his heart stilled after a life of tilling the black soil. Now, his body rests with the embalmers in a warbet, a pure place near the necropolis, where the sacred work of mummification has begun. You rise from your woven mat, your sister T still asleep, clutching her clay doll. Your mother Nefert is in the courtyard, her hands trembling as she lights a clay lamp, its flame casting a warm glow on the nicheware base. The protector god stands guard. You splash your face and hands with Nile water from a clay jar, murmuring, "O Isis, guide Senen's car to the Duat." The act of cleansing, vital to Mat's order, feels heavier today as your grandfather's journey depends on purity, both of his body and the rituals around it. The Book of the Dead, a collection of spells you've glimpsed in temple scrolls, promises that a pure body ensures a light heart, safe from Amit's devouring jaws in the afterlife's judgment. You step outside, the air cool and thick with the scent of river silt and burning myrrh, an offering for Senen's soul. Your father, his face lined with grief, hands you a linen kilt, fresh and plant-based, free of wool's impurity. Wool, tied to animals, is forbidden in sacred spaces, as it carries Isfet's taint, the chaos that Mat holds at bay. You tie the kilt with a leather belt, slip on papyrus sandals, and touch the Faience scarab amulet at your neck. Its green glaze, a symbol of rebirth, like the dung beetle rolling its ball under Ra's gaze. Today, you'll join the family to oversee the preparations for Senen's funeral, a duty that binds you to Mat's cosmic order. The pyramid texts, ancient spells carved in pharaohs' tombs, describe death as a transformation, a return to the primordial waters of Nun, where life began. Your grandfather's soul, his Ka and Ba, must be preserved through mummification, a 70-day process that turns his body into a vessel for eternity. Breakfast is somber, flatbread onions, dried figs, and barley beer, the liquid bread of Osiris. Your mother sprinkles natron, the purifying salt from Wadi Natron, on the table, ensuring no impurity taints the meal. Your father offers a crumb to base, whispering, "Protect Senen's Ka." Pork, taboo for temple rites, is absent, as the family will visit the warbet later. The Ebers papyrus warns that impure food invites disease, a sign of chaos, and today, purity feels urgent. Your mother scrubs the clay plates with natron and Nile water, her movements slow, her eyes distant. She speaks softly of Senen's life, his laughter, his stories of the flood, and you feel the weight of his absence, a reminder that death, though sacred, is a tear in Mat's fabric, mended only by ritual. The village stirs as Ra rises, his light gilding the Nile's surface. You walk with your father toward the necropolis, a rocky plain where tombs and pyramids rise like gateways to the Duat. The warbet, a low mud brick structure shaded by palms, is where embalmers work, their hands guided by Anubis, the jackal-headed god of mummification. The air inside is sharp with natron and myrrh, the walls lined with jars of oils and resins. Senen's body lies on a slanted stone slab, washed with Nile water to purify it, as the Book of the Dead prescribes. The embalmers, shaven-headed and clad in spotless linen, are priests of Anubis, their purity absolute, no hair, no wool, no blood, as temple inscriptions demand. They've begun the first stage, removing the internal organs, save for the heart, the seat of the soul. The liver, lungs, stomach, and intestines are extracted through a small incision, washed with natron, and placed in 4 canopic jars, each guarded by a son of Horus. Imsiti, human-headed liver; Hopi, baboon; lungs, Duamutef; jackal; stomach, Kebesanuf; falcon, intestines. You watch, awed and uneasy, as the embalmers pack the body with natron to dry it over 40 days, its skin turning leathery under the salt's touch. The process, detailed in Herodotus's Histories Book 2, shocks outsiders. The Greeks burned their dead, finding Egypt's handling of corpses strange, but to you, its reverence, ensuring Senon's car can return to his body. You leave the warbit, the sun now high, and join your mother at home. She prepares offerings for the funeral: bread, beer, lotus flowers, all purified with natron to honor Osiris. Your sister T, her eyes red from crying, helps weave a linen shroud, her small fingers clumsy but earnest. The shroud, infused with myrrh, will wrap Senon's body, as the pyramid texts describe, protecting it for eternity. Your mother speaks of the afterlife, where Senon's soul will face Osiris's judgment. His heart will be weighed against Mat-'s feather on Anubis's golden scale. A light heart, pure of sin, enters Aru. A heavy heart, weighed by greed or lies, is devoured by Ammit, the crocodile lion hippo beast. You clutch your scarab amulet, its promise of rebirth, a comfort. The Book of the Dead lists spells to guide the soul, and your family has paid a scribe to copy them onto papyrus for Senon's tomb, a costly but necessary act. Midday, the village gathers for a procession to the tomb, a rock-cut chamber in the necropolis, modest compared to the pharaoh's grandeur in the Valley of the Kings. Mourners, led by a priest of Anubis, chant hymns from the pyramid texts. Rise, O Senon, take your place among the stars. Women wail, tearing their hair, a ritual grief to honor the dead. Your father carries a basket of offerings: bread, beer, onions, while T holds a lotus flower, its petals pure white, a symbol of rebirth. The tomb, carved into limestone, is small but sacred, its walls painted with scenes of Osiris, Isis, and Mat-'s feather. Inside, embalmers will place Senon's mummy in a wooden coffin, surrounded by Shabti figures, small, carved servants to work in the afterlife, as Deir el-Medina tombs show. Amulets and ankh for life, a jed for stability are tucked into the linen wrappings, their magic ensuring Senon's soul navigates the duot. The opening of the mouth ceremony, performed by a priest with an adze and pesishkef tool, restores Senon's senses, allowing him to eat, speak, and move in the afterlife. You watch, heart pounding, as the priest touches the mummy's face, chanting, "Open your mouth, O Senon, and live again." The funeral ends with offerings placed in the tomb, jars of grain, beer, and a papyrus scroll of spells. Your family will mourn for 3 days, returning to offer food for Senon's car, as the Book of the Dead instructs. Commoners like your family have simpler tombs than pharaohs, whose burials, like Tutankhamun's, brim with gold and chariots, as archaeological finds reveal. Herodotus, centuries later, described mummification's natron stench and intricate process, marveling at Egypt's obsession with preserving bodies. To Greeks, burial was earth or fire. To you, it's a sacred art, keeping earth and fire pure, unlike foreign practices that pollute Mat-'s order. Back home, the sun dips, and your family gathers in the courtyard. Your mother serves lentil stew, her hands steady but her eyes distant. T clings to her doll, whispering to base for protection. The village feels fragile, as if Senon's death has left a crack in Mat's balance. Your father speaks of the duot, where Senon's Ba, a winged soul, soars to meet Osiris. The pyramid texts promise he'll join the stars, imperishable. You climb to the roof, the Milky Way, a Nile of the sky, and pray to Isis, protector of the dead. Dreams, you're told, may carry Senon's messages, interpreted by priests. A falcon in your sleep might mean his soul's favor. Mummification and death rituals bind Set Mat to Mat-'s order. Every natron sprinkle, every amulet, every chant ensures Senon's eternity. Herodotus noted Egypt's reverence for the dead. Unlike Greek simplicity, to you, its normal death is a journey, and mummification is Mat-'s promise of life beyond. The evening air is alive with anticipation as you, Mary, step out of your mud-brick home in Set Mat. The sky is a deep indigo, the first stars twinkling like the imperishable ones of the Duat, the underworld. Your family's house, its walls whitewashed to deflect the sun's heat, hums with activity. Your mother Nefert is in the courtyard, her hands dusted with flour as she shapes flatbread for the betrothal feast. Your sister, T, 8 years old, sits nearby, weaving a tiny linen dress for her clay doll, her giggles mingling with the crackle of the clay oven. Your father, Tehotep, a farmer, is washing his hands with natron water, purifying himself for the celebration, as Mat demands cleanliness in all sacred acts. You adjust your linen kilt, fresh and plant-based, free of wool's impurity, and touch the faience scarab amulet at your neck, its green glaze a symbol of rebirth. Tonight, you'll join the village at Meret's betrothal, a moment that binds families and upholds the cosmic order. Marriage in ancient Egypt is a contract, not a temple rite, a practical bond that strengthens Mat's harmony. Meret, your friend Hori's sister, is 13. Her groom, a 16-year-old scribe from Dia el Medina, the nearby village of tomb builders. The Kahun Papyrus, a legal text you've glimpsed in scribe school, describes such contracts, agreements on property, support, and duties, signed on papyrus with witnesses. No priest officiates. The couple's cohabitation and mutual vow seal the bond. You follow your family to Meret's home, a larger mud brick house with a spacious courtyard where the village gathers under palm fronds strung with faience beads. The air smells of roast goose, barley, beer, and lotus flowers, offerings to Hathor, the goddess of love. Meret, her eyes lined with kohl, wears a pleated linen dress, a lotus blossom tucked into her braided hair. Ka, nervous but proud, offers her a bronze ring, its ankh symbol promising life. The crowd cheers, and a scribe reads the contract aloud, detailing Meret's dowry: a bolt of linen, a wooden chest, and a small plot of land. And Ka's promise to provide food and clothing. The Deir el Medina Astraca, pottery fragments you'll study, record such agreements, showing women's rights to property and divorce, a balance of Mat's justice. Your mother Nefert married Tehotep at 13, he at 16, their union sealed by a similar contract. Love poems, like those found on Deir el Medina papyri, sing of their bond. My heart flutters like a bird when I see you. My love is a flame that does not fade. Nefert brought a dowry of linen and a copper deben weight, and she retains her own land, inherited from her mother, which she could pass to T. Women in Egypt, as Herodotus later noted in his History's Book 2, hold surprising power. They can own property, initiate divorce, and sue for neglect, taking half the household goods, as legal texts confirm. Your neighbor, Izet, divorced her husband last year, keeping her loom and grain, a right upheld by Mat's balance. This shocks outsiders. Greeks, Herodotus wrote, found Egyptian women's autonomy strange, unlike their own restrictive customs. The feast begins, and you sit on a reed mat, the courtyard alive with laughter and music. Golden trays hold roast goose with honey, barley bread, figs, and jars of barley beer, sweetened with dates. Beer, brewed by women like Nefert, is Osiris's gift, its purity praised in the Ebers papyrus. You sip, its frothy tastes familiar, as even children drink it for nourishment. A lute player strums, a woman shakes a sistrum, its rattle invoking Hathor's joy. T claps, her eyes bright, as dancers swirl in linen dresses, their movements mimicking the Nile's flow. Your father offers a cup of beer to the earth, a gesture for Hopi, ensuring abundance. The Book of the Dead urges offerings to gods at such gatherings, tying feasting to Mat. Herodotus marveled at Egyptian feasts, noting their love of beer and communal joy. Unlike Greek wine-heavy symposia, family is the heart of Mat, and your household reflects this. Your parents live with you, T, and your younger brother, Amen, in a nuclear unit. Though extended families often share larger homes, children are cherished, as the instructions of a wisdom text urge. Raise your children with care, for they are Mat's gift. T's clay doll, dressed in scraps of linen, is a treasure, as are your wooden spinning top and senate board, a game of strategy you play with bets of dried dates. Your mother teaches tea weaving and cooking, skills for her future household, while you train as a scribe, a path to a soft-handed life. Noble girls, like Ankhesenon, Tutankhamun's queen, learn to read for temple roles, serving Hathor or Isis, but most girls learn domestic arts. Your friend Hori, dreaming of soldiering, trains with a bow, hoping to join Ramses' army and earn land, as Amarna letters describe soldiers' rewards. Royal marriages shock outsiders most. Pharaohs like Tutankhamun married siblings to preserve divine blood, as archaeological evidence of his sister wife confirms. This incest, a sacred act to maintain Mat's purity, horrified Herodotus, who wrote of Egyptians' strange customs. Commoners, like your family, marry for love or alliance. But even here, young ages are normal. Girls wed at 12 to 14. Boys at 14-16. Meret's betrothal at 13 is typical, her joy evident as she dances with Ka. The Kahun papyrus notes early marriages ensure many children, strengthening Mat's community. Polygamy is rare for commoners, though pharaohs keep harems. As Ramses II's many wives show, their influence recorded in Karnak reliefs. Back home, after the feast, your family gathers in the courtyard. Your mother serves lentil stew, its garlic scent mingling with the night air. Tea tells a story of Bastet, the cat goddess, whose sacred feline prowls your home, hunting rats. Killing a cat brings severe penalties. Herodotus described a man stoned for such a crime. Your family's cat, its eyes glinting, is a guardian of Mat. You play Senate, Tea giggling as she moves her pawn. Your mother's friend, Isit, the Hathor priestess, visits her beaded dress clinking. She speaks of temple duties, singing hymns to soothe the goddess. Women's roles: weaver, landowner, priestess are vital. As Daya el-Medina records show, where women won legal disputes and managed households, education shapes family life. You study hieratic script, math, and astronomy at the temple's house of life, copying the hymn to the Nile. Tea learns weaving, but her quick mind could lead to temple service. The instructions of Amenemop urge teaching children Mat's ways. Health is guarded by amulets: Bes for children, Toret for pregnant women. When Tea had a fever, your mother burned myrrh and used Eber's papyrus remedies: honey for wounds, garlic for strength, magic and medicine blur, ensuring Mat's protection. The village economy supports families. Barter, not coins, rules. Your father trades barley for a knife, your mother's linen for beads. Markets hum with women haggling. As Herodotus noted, their voices rising over donkey brays. Daya el-Medina's tomb builders, paid in grain and beer, live better than farmers. Their astraca revealing love letters and family disputes, all under Mat's gaze. As night falls, you climb to the roof, the Milky Way, a Nile of the sky. You pray to Isis, protector of families, for Meret's future. Dreams, read by priests, may carry omens. A lotus might mean Hathor's blessing. You sleep with a Wegetai amulet, guarding against Isfit, marriage and family. From Meret's betrothal to your mother's strength, we've Mat's order, ensuring harmony. The evening is alive as you, Mary, step into the courtyard of Meret's home. Its mud brick walls adorned with painted lotuses and Ankh symbols, glowing under the flicker of clay lamps. The sky is a deep indigo, the Milky Way a Nile of the sky, glittering above, as if the gods themselves watched the celebration. Your family's house, just across the narrow alley, is quiet, but here, the air buzzes with joy. Your mother Nefert carries a basket of freshly baked flatbread, its crust warm and slightly charred, while your father Tehotep balances a clay jar of barley beer, its surface frothy with date syrup. Your sister, Tea, 8 years old, skips beside you, her linen dress adorned with a blue faience bead, clutching a lotus flower to offer at the feast. You adjust your clean linen kilt, its plant fibers pure in Mat's eyes, and touch the faience's scarab amulet at your neck, its green glaze a symbol of rebirth. Tonight's feast, celebrating Meret's betrothal to Ki, a young scribe, is a village affair, a sacred act to honor Hathor, goddess of love and joy, and Osiris, lord of abundance. The Book of the Dead, glimpsed in temple scrolls, urges offerings at such gatherings, tying feasting to Mat's cosmic harmony. Meret's courtyard is a sea of color and sound. Golden trays gleam with roast goose glazed with honey, its skin crisp and fragrant, alongside heaps of barley bread, figs sticky with sweetness, and bowls of lentils spiced with coriander. Clay jars of barley beer, brewed by Meret's mother, line the walls, their yeasty scent mingling with the floral notes of lotus blossoms scattered on the ground. Beer, Egypt's liquid bread, is a staple, even for children. Its low alcohol content, nourishing and safe, a gift of Osiris, as the Eber's papyrus praises for its purity. You take a clay cup, its rim cool, and sip the frothy brew, its date sweetened, tastes familiar and comforting. Brewing is women's work. Your mother, Nefert, spends days soaking barley, fermenting it with dates or herbs, a skill passed down through generations. The hymn to Ninkasi, though Mesopotamian, echoes Egypt's reverence for beer, and tomb reliefs from Deir el-Medina show women stirring vats, their labor sacred to Mat. The feast is a communal act, and seating reflects Mat's hierarchy. Meret's family, as hosts, sit near the center, their mats adorned with cushions. Nobles from Thebes, including a scribe overseer, occupy prime spots, their linen kilts pleated and adorned with bronze belts. You, a farmer's son, sit with your family on simpler mats, but the joy is shared. A lute player strums, his fingers dancing over strings, while a woman shakes a sistrum, its rattle invoking Hathor's presence. Dancers, their linen dresses swirling, mimic the Nile's flow, their movements graceful yet precise, as if tracing Mat's order. Tea claps, her eyes wide, as children chase each other, dodging trays of dates and onions. Your father pours a sip of beer onto the earth, murmuring, "For Hopi, bringer of abundance," a ritual to ensure the Nile's flood, as the hymn to the Nile urges. The Book of the Dead ties such offerings to cosmic balance, ensuring God's favor the community. Feasts like this can last days, especially for betrothals or festivals like Wepatrenpet. The New Year Herodotus in his History's Book 2 marveled at Egyptian feasts, noting their love of beer and communal joy. Unlike Greek wine-heavy symposia, he described how Egyptians diluted beer with water, a practice you see tonight 'cause father mixes beer in a bronze bowl, ensuring moderation. Excess, though rare, brings criticism. Herodotus called Egyptians indulgent, but to you, these gatherings are Mat's embrace, uniting families. Tomb reliefs from Saqqara and Thebes depict such scenes, tables laden with food, dancers swirling, musicians playing, all under the god's gaze. Your neighbor, a tomb builder from Deir el-Medina, once showed you a sketch of a banquet on an ostracon, its figures raising cups to Osiris. Food is prepared with care, upholding Mat's purity. Your mother's flatbread, baked in a clay oven, is made from emmer wheat ground on a stone quern, its flour sifted to remove impurities. The goose, a luxury, is roasted over a fire, its fat dripping into clay pots for later use. Onions, garlic, and lentils, staples of the poor, are spiced with coriander or cumin, as the Ebers Papyrus recommends for health. Fish, caught with Nile nets, is salted and grilled, its flesh pure for temple offerings. Pork, taboo for priests, is absent tonight, as many guests will visit the temple tomorrow. Your mother scrubs trays with natron, the purifying salt, ensuring no food traces linger, as the Ebers Papyrus warns of demons in unclean vessels. The village cat, sacred to Bastet, prowls nearby, its eyes glinting as it hunts rats that threaten grain stores. Killing a cat, even by accident, brings heavy penalties. Herodotus noted a man stoned for such a crime, a breach of Mat's order. The feast is also a stage for social bonds. Meret's father, a skilled craftsman, shares beer with a Nubian merchant, bartering for gold dust. Your father trades a sack of barley for a bronze knife, using Deben weights, as coins don't exist. Women, as Herodotus observed, haggle in markets, and tonight, they exchange gossip and Goodsnefert swaps linen for faience beads. Deir el-Medina Astraca records such exchanges, alongside love poems and family disputes, all under Mat's watchful eye. Your friend Hori Meret's brother boasts of his archery training, hoping to join Ramses' army and earn land, as Amarna letters describe soldiers' rewards. You, destined for a scribe's life, listen quietly, your hands unstained by field labor, as the instructions of Amenemhotep promise. Be a scribe, your limbs will be sleek. As the night deepens, you play senet with tea, betting dried dates on the board's 30 squares. Its game of strategy, mirroring life's journey through Mat and Isfet. Tea giggles as she moves her pawn, her joy a small victory for harmony. Your mother's friend, Isit a Hathor priestess, joins, her beaded dress clinking. She speaks of temple feasts, where priests offer food to Amun-Ra's statue, ensuring cosmic order. Festivals like Opet, where Amun's bark sails to Karnak, are grander, with crowds chanting, dancers swirling, and beer flowing like the Nile. You've seen it, the village united in worship, Hathor's sistrums rattling under starlight. Back home, your family gathers in your courtyard, the feast's warmth lingering. Nefert serves lentil stew, its garlic scent comforting. Your father tells a story of Osiris, whose resurrection by Isis symbolizes abundance, tied to tonight's feast. Ti, sleepy, clutches her doll, whispering to baste its cat. The Book of the Dead urges gratitude for food, a gift of Mat. You climb to the roof, the air cool, the stars bright. The Milky Way mirrors the Nile, a celestial river of order. You pray to Hathor, thanking her for Meret's joy, and to Osiris for abundance. Dreams, read by priests, may carry omens. Lotus might mean Hathor's blessing. You sleep with a Wedget-high amulet, guarding against Isfit. Feasting binds, set Mat to Mat's order. Every tray, every song, every toast strengthens the community. Herodotus noted Egyptians' love of gatherings, unlike Greek restraint. To you, its normal feasts are prayers, ensuring Mat's harmony against chaos's threat. You awaken before dawn in your modest mud-brick home in Set Mat, the air cool and heavy with the damp, earthy scent of Nile silt, carried on the pre-dawn breeze. The village is hushed, save for the soft breathing of your sister Tiki, curled on her reed mat, clutching a clay doll dressed in scraps of linen, and the faint crackle of your mother Nefet's fire in the courtyard, where she prepares flatbread for the day. Your father Tehotep, a farmer with calloused hands, is already outside, his silhouette moving against the fading stars as he checks the irrigation canal that feeds your barley fields, a lifeline in this desert land. You rise, your body stiff from the hard floor, and step to a clay jar in the courtyard, its surface beaded with dew from the night's chill. The water inside, drawn yesterday from the Nile, is sacred, tied to Hopi, the god of the flood, and Isis, the mother of life. You splash your face, hands, and feet, the water chilling your skin as you murmur a prayer. Hail Ra, who rises in glory, grant us Mat this day. The act is simple but vital, aligning you with Mat, whose ostrich feather symbolizes the order that holds the cosmos together, as the pyramid texts, carved in ancient tombs, declare. Mat is the breath of Ra, the foundation of creation. Your mother hands you a linen kilt, woven from flax grown in your fields, its fibers crisp and pure, free of wool's impurity, which carries the taint of Isfit, chaos, forbidden in sacred spaces. You tie the kilt with a leather belt, slip on sandals woven from papyrus reeds, and check your reflection in a polished bronze mirror, your shaved head gleaming a mark of purity for a boy training to be a scribe. The mirror, traded for a bolt of linen, reflects your smooth face, ready for the day's journey. Today is special. You're traveling to Thebes for the Opet festival, a grand celebration where Omenra's statue is carried in a bark to renew the pharaoh's divine power. It's a rare chance for a farmer's son like you to glimpse the court of Ramses II, the living god whose name use, Hamata, Setapineris, a cartouche of divine authority. Your heart races at the thought, stirred by tales from your scribe teacher, Senemit, who described the court as a house of eternity, where every act mirrors the god's will. Breakfast is a quiet ritual in the courtyard, the sky blushing pink as Ra begins his journey. Nefert serves warm flatbread, its crust slightly charred, alongside sliced onions, dried figs, and clay cups of barley beer, the liquid bread of Osiris, its frothy surface sweetened with date syrup. Beer, brewed by women like your mother, is a staple, even for children. Its low alcohol content, nourishing and safe, as the Ebers papyrus praises for its purity. Before eating, your father crumbles a bit of bread and places it before the niche of Base, the dwarf-like protector god with a lion's mane, whispering, "Protect our journey, O Base." Your mother sprinkles natron, the purifying salt from Wadi Natron, on the low wooden table, ensuring no impurity taints the meal, as the Ebers papyrus warns that impure food invites disease, a sign of Isfet's intrusion. Pork, taboo for temple visitors, is absent today, as you'll enter the sacred precincts of Karnak. Fish, onions, and bread are pure, blessed by the gods who sustain the land. Nefert scrubs the clay plates with natron water, her hands steady despite the early hour, her movements a small prayer to Mat. As Ra's light spills across the Nile, the village stirs, and you join your family on the Paktoth road to Thebes, carrying a basket of lotus flowers as offerings for the festival. The Nile glints beside you, its surface dotted with filicus sailboats with curved prows and fishermen casting nets woven from flax. The road is alive with villagers, their voices mingling with the bleat of goats and the splash of oars. Women balance water jars on their heads, their linen dresses swaying, while children chase each other, dodging donkeys laden with grain. Thebes looms as you approach, its skyline a forest of sandstone temples and obelisks, their tips sheathed in electrum that catches Ras rays like fire. The Karnak complex, heart of ominous worship, is a labyrinth of towering columns painted with vibrant scenes, lotuses blooming, falcons soaring, and Ramses II smiting enemies at Kadesh. A victory etched in the bulletin of Kadesh on temple walls. You pause at the sacred lake, a shimmering pool reflecting the sky, where priests purify themselves with natron water. You follow suit, washing your hands, feet, and face, the water's sharp, salty tang stinging your nose. A priest, his shaved head gleaming, his linen kilt spotless, inspects you, his voice stern. No dirt, no hair, no blood. These rules, carved in temple inscriptions, ensure Mat-S presence, as the Book of the Dead demands purity for divine communion. The Opet festival is a spectacle of devotion. Crowds line the avenue of sphinxes, chanting hymns to Amun-Ra, as priests carry his golden statue in a cedar bark, its prow adorned with a ram's head, Amon's sacred animal. Sistrums rattle, their metallic clinks invoking Hathor, while dancers in beaded linen dresses swirl, their movements mimicking the Nile's flow. The air is thick with myrrh incense, its smoky sweetness curling upward, and lotus petals scatter like offerings to Mat. Your family joins the throng, Tea clutching her lotus flower, her eyes wide with awe. But your gaze is drawn to the hypostyle hall, a vast chamber of 134 columns, each as wide as a house, where the pharaoh appears. Ramses II, in his 40s, strides forward, his presence commanding silence. He sits on an electrum throne, its legs carved as lions, the urious cobra on his double-crowned, shint glimming with gold and lapis lazuli. His pleated kilt, adorned with gold thread, and his broad collar of carnelian and turquoise mark him as Horus, son of Ra, the living god, who bridges earth and sky. His face, bronzed by the sun, is serene yet fierce, his eyes lined with kohl, a divine mask of power. To you, he's the embodiment of Mat. To outsiders like Herodotus, who centuries later wrote in his History's Book 2, the pharaoh's godhood is alien. Unlike Greek kings who claim no divinity, court life is a meticulously orchestrated ritual, a mirror of the cosmos. The pharaoh's day begins before dawn in the palace, a sprawling complex of mud brick and limestone, its courtyards paved with alabaster, its walls painted with scenes of victories and gods. Priests, shaven and clad in spotless linen, purifying Ramses with Nile water drawn from the sacred lake, anointing him with myrrh oil that smells of resin and earth, as the pyramid texts prescribe for divine kings. Wash the king, O Horus, that he may shine as Ra. They dress him in a linen kilt, pleated and embroidered with gold, and place the double crown reed for Lower Egypt, white for upper symbolizing unity. A broad collar of faience and gold, heavy with amulets, rests on his chest, and a false beard, tied with leather straps, marks his divine status. Breakfast is light, bread, figs, and wine from Canaanite jars, as Karnak reliefs depict royal meals. Then, in the throne room, a chamber of soaring columns painted with lotus capitals, Ramses holds morning audiences. Viziers like Pacer of Thebes present papyrus scrolls detailing taxes, grain from fields like your father's, and tribute from Nubia, including gold and ostrich feathers, recorded in Amarna letters. Scribes, like you aspire to be, sit cross-legged, their reed pens scratching hieratic script, their work upholding Mat-S order. The instructions of Amenemope, a wisdom text you study, urges scribes, write truth, for Mat is in your ink. Midday, Ramses performs rituals in the temple's inner sanctum, a dark chamber where Amun-Ra's statue, gold and encrusted with lapis, stands veiled in linen. He offers bread, beer, and incense, the myrrh's smoke curling upward, as priests chant from the Book of the Dead. O Amen, Hidden One, your power sustains the land. These acts ensure Ra's journey across the sky, tying the pharaoh's divinity to Mat-S balance. Afternoons may see him inspecting projects as Ramesseum, a mortuary temple rising near Thebes, or the colossal statues at Abu Simbel, as inscriptions boast. He reviews troops, their bronze spears and oxide shields glinting, ensuring Mat-S protection against foreign chaos, like the Hittites or Libyans. Evenings bring banquets in the palace's pillared halls, where nobles in pleated kilts and wigs feast on roast duck, pomegranates, and wine. As harpists play and dancers sway, depicted in Theban tomb reliefs. Herodotus noted such feasts, marveling at their opulence compared to Greek simplicity. But to you, they're extensions of Maat, uniting the elite in divine harmony. The court is a complex web of roles, each a thread in Maat's tapestry. Viziers like Pesa oversee justice and taxes, their seals on papyrus binding the land. As Daya el-Medina, Astraka show administrative precision. Nobles, granted land for loyalty, manage estates, their wealth displayed in gold jewelry and chariots, as Amarna letters describe. Scribes, the literate elite, record decrees, treaties, and temple offerings, their ink preserving Maat as truth. Priests, shaven and pure, tend God's statues, their chants echoing in hypostyle halls, ensuring cosmic balance. The royal harem, a palace wing of painted chambers, houses queens like Nefertari, whose tomb paintings show her elegance, and concubines bearing Ramses's over 50 sons, potential heirs. Nefertari's diplomatic letters to Hittite queens, found in Amarna archives, reveal her influence, a power-balancing Maat-S order. Eunuchs, as hinted in palace records, guard the harem, their loyalty absolute. Intrigue, simmers, succession, disputes, rival wives, but Maat-S justice, enforced by viziers, keeps chaos at bay. You, Mary, stand at the crowd's edge, awed by Ramses's presence. His said festival, a ritual to renew his divine strength, is years away, but you've heard tales. He runs a course, shoots arrows, and offers to gods, proving his vigor, as Abydos reliefs depict. His cartouche, Usamota, Setapina, is sacred, tying him to Ra, as temple inscriptions proclaim. Herodotus found this divine status odd, noting Egyptians worshipped their king, unlike Greek rulers who share mortal flaws. To you, it's normal. Ramses's decrees, like building pyramids or signing the Hittite peace treaty, sustain Maat, ensuring floods and harvests. Backenset Maat, night cloaks the village, and you gather in your courtyard. Nefert serves lentil stew, its garlic scent mingling with the cool air. Tea, sleepy, tells of the festival's dancers, her lotus flower now wilting. Your father speaks of the pharaoh's role, tying village to palace. His heart is Maat-S feather. You climb to the roof, the Milky Way, a celestial Nile, and pray to Horus, thanking him for Ramses's rule. Dreams, read by priests, may carry omens of falcon for divine favor. You sleep with a Wedget Eye amulet, guarding against Isfit. Court life, from purification to decrees, binds Egypt to Maat. Every ritual, every scribe's mark, upholds the cosmos. Herodotus marveled at this. Unlike Greek chaos, to you, it's normal. The pharaoh's divinity is Egypt's heartbeat, pulsing through every village, every field, every prayer. You awaken before dawn in your mud-brick home in Set Maat, the air cool and thick with the earthy scent of Nile silt carried on the breeze. The village is hushed, save for the soft breathing of your sister T, curled on her mat with a clay doll, and the faint crackle of your mother Nefert's fire in the courtyard, where she kneads dough for flatbread. Your father, Tehotep, a farmer with hands roughened by years of wielding a hoe, is outside, checking the irrigation canal that feeds your barley fields, a lifeline in this arid land. You rise, your body stiff from the hard floor, and step to a clay jar in the courtyard, its surface beaded with dew. The water, drawn yesterday from the Nile, is sacred, tied to Hopi, the flood god, and Isis, the mother of life. You splash your face, hands, and feet, the water chilling your skin as you murmur, "O Isis, purify me for Maat-S justice." The act is vital, aligning you with Maat, whose ostrich feather symbolizes the order that holds the cosmos together, as the pyramid texts declare. At is the foundation of Ra-S throne. Your mother hands you a linen kilt, woven from flax grown in your fields, its fibers crisp and pure, free of wool's impurity, which carries Isfet's taint, forbidden in sacred spaces. You tie the kilt with a leather belt, slip on papyrus sandals, and touch the Phaon's scarab amulet at your neck, its green glaze a symbol of rebirth, like the dung beetle rolling its ball under Ra's gaze. Today, you'll witness a trial in the village square, a rare event that has the village buzzing. A thief stole grain from the pharaoh's granary, a crime against Maat herself. Breakfast is a solemn affair in the courtyard, the sky blushing pink as Ra begins his journey. Nefert serves warm flatbread, its crust slightly charred, alongside sliced onions, dried figs, and clay cups of barley beer. The liquid bread of Osiris, its frothy surface sweetened with date syrup. Beer, brewed by women like your mother, is a staple, even for children. Its low alcohol content, nourishing and safe, as the Ebers papyrus praises for its purity. Before eating, your father crumbles a bit of bread and places it before the niche of Base, the dwarf-like protector god with a leering lion's mane, whispering, "Guard us from chaos, O Base." Your mother sprinkles natron, the purifying salt from Wadi Natron, on the low wooden table, ensuring no impurity taints the meal. The Ebers papyrus warns that impure food invites disease, a sign of Isfet's intrusion. Pork, taboo for temple visitors, is absent, as your family may visit the temple after the trial to offer prayers for justice. Nefert scrubs the clay plates with natron water, her hands steady but her eyes troubled, aware of the day's gravity. She speaks softly of Mat's balance, how theft disrupts the harmony that feeds the land. Your father nods, his voice low. The pharaoh's grain is Mat's gift. Stealing it angers the gods. The village square, a packed-earth clearing shaded by sycamore trees, is crowded as you arrive with your family. Men in linen kilts, women in pleated dresses, and children clutching wooden toys gather, their murmurs rising like the hum of bees. The accused, a young man named Mena, stands bound with flax ropes, his face pale, his kilt tattered. He's a laborer from Deir el-Medina, the nearby village of tomb builders, caught pilfering barley from the pharaoh's granoria, crime not just against the state, but against Ma'at, whose order ensures the Nile's flood and the harvest's bounty. The judge, a priest of Ammon named Neboman, sits on a raised wooden platform, his shaved head gleaming, his linen robe spotless, a broad collar of turquoise and carnelian round his neck. His role, as the instructions of Amenemop urge, is to weigh truth like Mat's feather, ensuring justice. Beside him, a scribe records the proceedings on papyrus, his reed pen scratching in hieratic script, a skill you practice in the temple's house of life. Two witnesses, farmers who saw Mena sneaking from the granary at dusk, stand ready to speak, their hands washed with natron to purify their words. Neboman begins with a prayer to Mat, his voice resonant. "O Lady of Truth, guide our hearts, let justice shine like Ra." The Book of the Dead emphasizes truth in judgment, as the heart is weighed against Mat's sether in the afterlife. Mena, trembling, denies the theft, claiming he found the grain sacked by the canal. The witnesses counter, their voices steady, detailing his stealth under moonlight. Neboman calls for an ordeal, a divine test to reveal truth, as human testimony alone may falter. Ordeals, as Herodotus later noted in his History's Book 2, are Egypt's unique justice. Unlike Greek courts, Mena is led to the Nile, where a priest of Sobek, the crocodile god, awaits. The ordeal is simple yet terrifying. Mena must swim across a designated stretch of the river, where crocodiles lurk, their eyes glinting like stars in the water. If Sobek spares him, he's innocent. If not, the gods have judged. You watch, heart pounding, as Mena enters the water, his strokes frantic. The crowd holds its breath, but he emerges, gasping, on the other bank, untouched. Neboman, unmoved, declares partial guilt. Mena's survival suggests innocence, but suspicion lingers. The punishment is severe but not fatal. His right hand, the hand of theft, is severed with a bronze blade, the wound cauterized with a hot iron. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, a medical text you'll study, describes such procedures, noting honey and linen bandages to prevent infection. Mena's cries echo, a warning to all, as Mat's balance is restored. Punishments in Egypt are swift and tied to Mat. Minor crimes, like polluting the Nile with waste, bring lashes 20 strokes with a palm switch, as Deir el-Medina struck a record. Theft from a neighbor might mean repayment threefold, enforced by village elders. Grave crimes like tomb robbing are dire. The decree of Horemheb, inscribed on a Theban stela, mandates death by burning or impalement for stealing from the dead, a desecration of Mat. You've heard tales of tomb robbers, their bodies left in the desert, a warning to others. Murderers face execution, often by beheading, their heads displayed, as Saqqara reliefs depict. Adultery, a breach of family harmony, may lead to divorce or flogging, especially for women, though men face fines, as legal texts from Deir el-Medina show. Your mother, Nefert, whispers of a woman lashed for infidelity, her shame a lesson in Mat's justice. Ordeals, though rare, fascinate you. Beyond the river trial, priests may consult oracles, statues of Amen moved by divine will to judge guilt, as Karnak inscriptions describe. Another ordeal involves licking a hot bronze plate. An unburned tongue proves truth, a test of Ta's favor. Herodotus marveled at these, noting crocodile ordeals as uniquely Egyptian, a divine justice Greeks lacked. To you, they re-normal Sobek s jaws, or Pata s fire reveal Ma at s truth, protecting the land. Back home, the sun dips, and your family gathers in the courtyard. Nefert serves lentil stew, its garlic scent mingling with the cool night air. T, shaken by the trial, clings to her doll, whispering to baste its cat, whose eyes glint as it hunts rats. Your father speaks of Mat's necessity. Without justice, Isfit dries the Nile. The village cat, sacred to Bastet, is a guardian of order. Killing one, as Herodotus noted, brings death or exile. You play Senat, betting dried dates, but the game feels heavy tonight. Your mother's friend, Isit, a Hathor priestess, visits, her beaded dress clinking. She speaks of temple justice, where priests judge disputes, ensuring Mat's balance. The village lives by Mat's laws. Markets where women haggle over linen and fish, as Herodotus observed, thrive on trust. Daya el Medina's Astraca record fines for cheating scales, a minor breach of Mat. Your father trades barley for a knife, using Deben weights, as coins don't exist. Scribes like you aspire to be in force order, recording taxes and verdicts. The pharaoh's decrees, like Horemheb's, reach even set Mat, ensuring justice from palace to village. You awaken before dawn in your mud brick home in Set Mat, the air cool and thick with the scent of Nile silt, carried on the pre-dawn breeze. The village is hushed, save for the soft breathing of your sister T curled on her reed mat, clutching a clay doll dressed in scraps of linen, and the faint crackle of your mother Nefert's fire in the courtyard where she shapes dough for flatbread. Your father, Tehotep, a farmer with hands roughened by years of tilling the black soil, is outside, his silhouette moving against the fading stars as he checks the irrigation canal that feeds your barley fields. You rise, your body stiff from the hard floor, and step to a clay jar in the courtyard, its surface beaded with dew from the night's chill. The water, drawn yesterday from the Nile, is sacred, tied to Hopi, the god of the flood, and Isis, the mother of life. You splash your face, hands, and feet, the water chilling your skin as you murmur, "O Amun-Ra, light of the world, grant us Mat this day." The act is vital, aligning you with Mat, whose ostrich feather symbolizes the order that holds the cosmos together. As the pyramid texts, carved in ancient tombs, declare, Mat is the foundation of the gods' thrones. Your mother hands you a linen kilt, woven from flax grown in your fields, its fibers crisp and pure, free of wool's impurity, which carries the taint of Isfit, chaos, forbidden in sacred spaces. You tie the kilt with a leather belt, slip on papyrus sandals, and touch the faience scarab amulet at your neck. Its green glaze a symbol of rebirth, like the dung beetle rolling its ball under Ra's gaze. Today, you'll travel to the temple of Karnak for scribe lessons, a place where gods dwell and animal cults, cats, bulls, crocodiles are revered as divine manifestations, a practice that awes and unsettles you. Breakfast is a quiet ritual in the courtyard, the sky blushing pink as Ra begins his journey. Nefert serves warm flatbread, its crust slightly charred, alongside sliced onions, dried figs, and clay cups of barley beer, the liquid bread of Osiris, its frothy surface sweetened with date syrup. Beer brewed by women like your mother is a staple, even for children. Its low alcohol content, nourishing and safe, as the Ebers papyrus praises for its purity. Before eating, your father crumbles a bit of bread and places it before the niche of Base, the dwarf-like protector god, with a leering lion's mane, whispering, "Guard our path, O Base." Your mother sprinkles natron, the purifying salt from Wadi Natron, on the low wooden table, ensuring no impurity taints the meal. The Ebers papyrus warns that impure food invites disease, a sign of Isfet's intrusion. Pork, taboo for temple visitors, is absent today, as you'll enter the sacred precincts of Karnak, where purity is absolute. Nefert scrubs the clay plates with natron water, her hands steady, her movements a small prayer to Mat. She speaks softly of the temple, where your aunt Kemzit serves as a chantress of Hathor, her voice rising in hymns to soothe the goddess. The temple, she says, is the house of the gods, where animal cults like Bestits, cats carry divine power. The road to Thebes is a ribbon of packed earth, winding along the Nile, its surface glinting with Ra's first rays. Feluccas glide past, their sails curved like falcon wings, while fishermen cast flax nets, their chants to Hopi mingling with the splash of oars. Villagers join you, their linen kilts and dresses swaying, carrying baskets of lotus flowers and jars of beer as offerings for the temple. Thebes rises in the distance, its skyline a forest of sandstone obelisks and pylons, their tips sheathed in electrum that catches the sun like fire. The Karnak complex, heart of Amun-Ra's worship, is a labyrinth of towering columns, each as wide as a house, painted with vibrant scenes. Lotuses blooming, ibises soaring, and Ramses II offering to Amun, his cartouche gleaming in blue faience. The temple is no mere building but a divine home, its layout mirroring the cosmos, as the Book of the Dead describes. The temple is the earth, its columns the sky, its lake the waters of Nun. You pause at the sacred lake, a shimmering pool reflecting the sky, where priests purify themselves with natron water. You follow suit, washing your hands, feet, and face. The water's sharp, salty tang, stinging your nose. A priest, his shaved head gleaming, his linen robe spotless, inspects you, his voice stern. No dirt, no hair, no blood. These rules, carved in temple inscriptions, ensure Mat's presence, as purity is the gods' demand. Inside the temple's house of life, where you train as a scribe, the air is cool, scented with myrrh and lotus. You sit cross-legged with other boys. Copying hieratic script on potsherds papyrus is too costly for practice. Your teacher Senemet, a scribe with ink-stained fingers, hands you a shard and a reed pen dipped in black ink made from soot and gum. Write the name of Amun-Ra, he commands, his voice echoing in the stone chamber. You trace the Sinza reed, a water ripple, a sun-discure hand trembling under his scrutiny. Pure hands honor Thoth, he says, quoting the instructions of Amenemop, a wisdom text urging discipline. The temple's inner sanctum, where priests tend Amun-Ra's statue, is off-limits to you. The statue, gold and encrusted with lapis lazuli, is washed daily with natron water, dressed in fresh linen, and offered bread, beer, and incense, as the pyramid texts prescribe. These acts sustain Mat, ensuring Ra's journey across the sky. A priestess, her linen dress adorned with beads, shakes a sistrum, its rattle pleasing Hathor, the goddess of music. The sound, sharp and rhythmic, fills the air, a reminder that purity extends to sound, to breath, to thought. Animal cults are the temple's most striking feature, a practice that awes you and shocks outsiders. In a shaded courtyard, a sacred ibis, its white feathers gleaming, struts in a stone enclosure, revered as a manifestation of Thoth, god of wisdom. Priests feed it fish and grain, their offerings ensuring Thoth's favor, as Saqqara inscriptions record. Nearby, a cat, its sleek fur black as night, lounges on a limestone bench, its eyes glinting like Bestit's gaze. Cats, sacred to Bastet, protector of homes, are revered. Killing one, even by accident, brings severe punishment. Herodotus, in his History's Book 2, described a man stoned for such a crime, a breach of Mat. When a cat dies, it's mummified, wrapped in linen with natron, and buried in sacred cemeteries, like those at Bubastis, where thousands of cat mummies have been found, their tiny forms adorned with faience amulets. Your family's cat, a guardian of your grain stores, is treated with care, fed scraps of Nile fish. Tea whispers to it, calling it Bestit's daughter, her voice soft with reverence. The Apis bull, a living god, is Karnak's most sacred animal. Housed in a gilded stall, its black coat marked with a white diamond, it embodies Pater, creator god. Priests, shaven and pure, tend it, offering barley and water, as Memphis inscriptions describe. When an Apis bull dies, the land mourns. It's mummified and buried in the Serapeum at Saqqara, a vast underground complex, its sarcophagi carved with hieroglyphs. Herodotus marveled at this, noting Egypt's worship of bulls unlike Greek sacrifices. You've heard of Sobek's crocodiles, kept in Phaeum's pools, fed meat and wine, their scales gleaming like Sobek's power. These animals, living gods, bridge earth and divine, their care upholding Mat. The temple's gardens, lush with papyrus and lotuses, symbolize creation's waters, as the Book of the Dead describes. Priests plant them, their soil fed by Nile silt, a mirror of Mat's fertility. Offerings bread, beer, lotus, flowers pile high before Amun-Ra statue, inspected for purity, as a blemished loaf could anger the god, disrupting Mat. Festivals like Opet, where Ammon's bark sails to Luxor, unite the village in worship, with chants, dances, and beer flowing like the Nile. Your aunt Kemsit, a Hathor chantress, sings hymns, her voice soaring, as Karnak reliefs depict. Back home, nightcloaks set Mat, and your family gathers in the courtyard. Nefert serves lentil stew, its garlic scent comforting. Tea, sleepy, tells of Bastit's cat, her awe reflecting the temple's power. Your father speaks of the god's presence, tying village to cosmos. You climb to the roof, the Milky Way, a Nile of the sky, and pray to Thoth, thanking him for wisdom. Dreams, read by priests, may carry omens and ibis for Thoth's favor. You sleep with a wedged tie amulet, guarding against temples and animal cults. From Ammon's statue to Bastit's cats, bind Egypt to Mat. Every offering, every chant, upholds the cosmos. Herodotus found them strange, unlike Greek simplicity. To you, they're normal. The god's presence is Egypt's heartbeat. You awaken before dawn in your modest mud-brick home in Set Mat, the air cool and thick with the scent of Nile silt, carried on the pre-dawn breeze. The village is hushed, save for the soft breathing of your sister T, curled on her reed, Mat clutching a clay doll, dressed in scraps of linen, and the faint crackle of your mother Nefert's fire in the courtyard where she prepares dough for flatbread. Your father Tehotep, a farmer with hands roughened by years of tilling the black soil, is outside, his silhouette moving against the fading stars as he checks the irrigation canal that feeds your barley fields. You rise, your body stiff from the hard floor, and step to a clay jar in the courtyard, its surface beaded with dew from the night's chill. The water, drawn yesterday from the Nile, is sacred tied to Hopi, the god of the flood, and Isis, the mother of life. You splash your face, hands, and feet, the water chilling your skin as you murmur, "O Isis, mother of Heka, shield us with Mat." The act is vital, aligning you with Mat, whose ostrich feather symbolizes the order that holds the cosmos together. As the pyramid texts declare, Heka is the power of the gods, given to men to uphold Mat. Your mother hands you a linen kilt, woven from flax grown in your fields, its fibers crisp and pure, free of wool's impurity, which carries the taint of Isfit, chaos, forbidden in sacred spaces. You tie the kilt with a leather belt, slip on papyrus sandals, and check your reflection in a polished bronze mirror. Your shaved head, gleaming a mark of purity for a boy training to be a scribe. The mirror, traded for a bolt of linen, reflects your smooth face, framed by the wedge-high amulet at your neck, its blue faience, a symbol of Horus's protection. Today, you'll visit the temple for scribe lessons, but your thoughts linger on a spell your mother cast last night for T's fever, a blend of Heka and medicine that underscores magic's role in your world. Breakfast is a quiet ritual in the courtyard, the sky blushing pink as Ra begins his journey. Nefert serves warm flatbread, its crust slightly charred, alongside sliced onions, dried figs, and clay cups of barley beer. The liquid bread of Osiris, its frothy surface sweetened with date syrup. Beer, brewed by women like your mother, is a staple, even for children. Its low alcohol content, nourishing and safe, as the Ebers papyrus praises for its purity. Before eating, your father crumbles a bit of bread and places it before the niche of Base, the dwarf-like protector god with a leering lion's mane, whispering, "Guard our hearth, O Base, from Isfet spirits." Your mother sprinkles natron, the purifying salt from Wadi Natron, on the low wooden table, ensuring no impurity taints the meal. The Ebers papyrus warns that impure food invites disease, a sign of Isfet's intrusion. Pork, taboo for temple visitors, is absent today, as you'll enter the sacred precincts of Karnak. Nefert scrubs the clay plates with natron water, her hands steady, her movements a small prayer to Mat. She speaks softly of last night's spell, when T's fever spiked. She burned myrrh in a clay censer, its smoky sweetness curling upward, and recited a spell from the Book of the Dead. "O Sekhmet, lioness of healing, drive the demon of fever from this child." She anointed T with a paste of honey and garlic, a remedy from the Ebers papyrus, and tucked a Toret amuleta, Phaon's hippo goddess under her mat, ensuring protection. The fever broke, a victory for Heka, the divine magic that flows from the gods. Magic Heka is Egypt's lifeblood, as natural as the Nile's flood. The coffin texts, spells for the afterlife, describe Heka as the power of creation, wielded by Ra to shape the world. Priests, healers, and even commoners like your mother use it, blending words, rituals, and objects to align with Mat. Amulets are Heka's tools, worn by all to ward off chaos. Your Vegetai amulet, shaped like Horus's eye, protects against evil spirits, as archaeological finds from Deir el-Medina show faience and carnelian charms buried with villagers. Your mother wears an ankh, the cross of life, its loop and stem promising eternity. T's Tauret amulet guards her childhood, its hippo form fierce against demons. Your father carries a jed pillar, a symbol of Osiris's stability, carved from wood and tied with flax. These amulets, blessed by priests, are activated with spells, as the Book of the Dead instructs. Speak the words, and the amulet lives. Your neighbor, a tomb builder, wears a scarab, its green faience mirroring your own, ensuring rebirth like the dung beetle rolling its ball. The road to Thebes is a ribbon of packed earth, winding along the Nile, its surface glinting with Ra's first rays. Feluccas glide past, their sails curve like falcon wings, while fishermen cast flax nets, their chants to Hopi mingling with the splash of oars. Villagers join you, carrying baskets of lotus flowers and jars of beer as offerings for the temple. Thebes rises, its skyline a forest of sandstone obelisks and pylons, their tips sheathed in electrum that catches the sun like fire. The Karnak complex, heart of Amun-Ra's worship, is a labyrinth of towering columns, each painted with vibrant scenes, lotuses blooming, falcons soaring, and Ramses II offering to Amun. The temple is a divine home, its layout mirroring the cosmos. As the Book of the Dead describes, the temple is the earth, its columns the sky, its lake the waters of Nun. You pause at the sacred lake, washing your hands, feet, and face with natron water, the salty tang stinging your nose. A priest, his shaved head gleaming, his linen robe spotless, inspects you. No dirt, no hair, no blood. These rules, carved in temple inscriptions, ensure Mat's presence. In the House of Life, you sit cross-legged, copying hieratic script on pochets. Your teacher, Senemet, hands you a shard and a reed pen dipped in black ink. Write the spell of Thoth, he commands, referencing a protective incantation from the magical papyrus of Turin. You trace the Sinzibis, read Moon your hand, trembling. Heka lives in words, he says, quoting the instructions of a Minimope. The temple's inner sanctum, where priests tend Amun-Ra's gold statue, is off limits. The statue is washed with natron, dressed in linen, and offered bread and incense. Sustaining Mat, a priestess shakes a sistrum, its rattle pleasing Hathor. Magic permeates the temple. Priests recite spells to empower offerings, as Karnak inscriptions detail. Superstitions shape daily life. Dreams are omens, read by priests. A falcon in your sleep signals Horus's favor. A snake warns of Seth's chaos, as the Dream Book papyrus outlines. Numbers carry power: 3 for creation, 7 for magic, as the Ebers papyrus notes in spell counts. Colors matter. Blue, like your Wedget amulet, invokes Horus. Red signals Seth's danger. Animals are omens and ibis. Crossing your path is Thoth's blessing. A scorpion near the house requires a spell, as your mother once cast, burning myrrh and chanting to Sekhmet. The Ebers papyrus blends magic with medicine. Garlic for infections, honey for wounds, paired with spells to drive out demons. Your aunt Kemzet, a Hathor chantress, wears a lotus amulet to protect her voice, reciting spells to soothe the goddess, as temple reliefs depict. Back home, Nightcloak set Mat. Nefert serves lentil stew, its garlic scent comforting. Tea recovered, tells of Bastit's cat, a guardian of Mat. Your father speaks of Heka's power, tying village to cosmos. You climb to the roof, the Milky Way, a Nile of the sky, and pray to Thoth, thanking him for wisdom. Dreams may carry omens: a lotus for Hatha's favor. You sleep with your Vegetai amulet, guarding against Isfit, magic, amulets, and superstitions. From T's healing to temple spells, bind Egypt to Mat. Herodotus, in his History's Book 2, found them strange, unlike Greek rationality. To you, their normal Heka is Egypt's heartbeat, warding off chaos. You awaken before dawn in your modest mud brick home in Set Mat. the air cool and thick with the scent of Nile silt carried on the pre-dawn breeze. The village is hushed, save for the soft breathing of your sister T, curled on her reed mat, clutching a clay doll dressed in scraps of linen, and the faint crackle of your mother. Nefert's fire in the courtyard, where she kneads dough for your father, Tehotep, a farmer with hands roughened by years of tilling the black soil, is outside, his silhouette moving against the fading stars as he checks the irrigation canal that feeds your barley fields, a lifeline in this arid land. You rise, your body stiff from the hard floor, and step to a clay jar in the courtyard, its surface beaded with dew from the night's chill. The water, drawn yesterday from the Nile, is sacred, tied to Hopi, the god of the flood, and Isis, the mother of life. You splash your face, hands, and feet, the water chilling your skin as you murmur, "O Hopi, Lord of the Nile, guide our paths with Mat." The act is vital, aligning you with Mat, whose ostrich feather symbolizes the order that holds the cosmos together. As the pyramid texts declare, Mat is the path of Ra, the river that binds the two lands. Your mother hands you a linen kilt, woven from flax grown in your fields, its fibers crisp and pure, free of wool's impurity, which carries the taint of Isfit chaos, forbidden in sacred spaces. You tie the kilt with a leather belt, slip on papyrus sandals, and check your reflection in a polished bronze mirror, your shaved head gleaming a mark of purity for a boy training to be a scribe. The mirror, traded for a bolt of linen, reflects your smooth face, framed by the wedgie-tie amulet at your neck, its blue faience, a symbol of Horus's protection against the perils of travel. Today, you'll accompany your father to Thebes' market, where merchants from Nubia and Punt trade goods, a bustling hub that connects Set Mat to the wider world. Breakfast is a quiet ritual in the courtyard, the sky blushing pink as Ra begins his journey. Nefert serves warm flatbread, its crust slightly charred, alongside sliced onions, dried figs, and clay cups of barley beer. The liquid bread of Osiris, its frothy surface sweetened with date syrup. Beer, brewed by women like your mother, is a staple, even for children. Its low alcohol content, nourishing and safe, as the Ebers papyrus praises for its purity. Before eating, your father crumbles a bit of bread and places it before the niche of Base, the dwarf-like protector god with a leering lion's mane, whispering, "Guard our journey, O Base, from Isfet's dangers." Your mother sprinkles natron, the purifying salt from Wadi Natron, on the low wooden table, ensuring no impurity taints the meal. The Ebers papyrus warns that impure food invites disease, a sign of Isfet's intrusion. Pork, taboo for temple visitors, is absent today, as you may visit the temple after the market to offer prayers for safe travel. Nefert scrubs the clay plates with natron water, her hands steady, her movements a small prayer to Mat. She speaks softly of a merchant from Punt who arrived yesterday, his boat laden with myrrh and gold, a reminder of the Nile's role as Egypt's artery. Your father nods, mentioning a sack of barley heel trade for a bronze knife, a transaction upholding Mat's balance. The Nile is Egypt's lifeblood, and travel is its pulse. The river, stretching over 4,000 miles, links Upper and Lower Egypt, its current carrying boats of papyrus, acacia, and cedar. Felucas, with curved sails, glide north with the current, while oarsmen row south against it, their chants to Hopi echoing across the water. Your father tells you of the hymn to the Nile, a text you'll copy in scribe school, which praises the river. You make the land green, O Hopi, bringer of abundance. Land travel, though rarer, is vital. Caravans of donkeys trek through the eastern desert to Punt or across Sinai to Byblis, carrying grain and linen, returning with incense and cedar. The Amarna letters, diplomatic texts you'll study, detailed trade with Mitanni and Babylon, exchanging gold for lapis lazuli. Travel is perilous. Bandits lurk in deserts, crocodiles in the Nile, but Heka, divine magic, protects. Your father carries a jed amulet, its wooden pillar symbolizing Osiris's stability, while Nefert tucks a Tauret amulet under T's mat, its hippo form guarding against travel's dangers. The road to Thebes is a ribbon of packed earth, winding along the Nile, its surface glinting with Ra's first rays. You carry a basket of lotus flowers, offerings for the temple, while your father shoulders a sack of barley, its weight heavy but promising trade. Villagers join you, their linen kilts and dresses swaying, balancing jars of beer and baskets of fish. Thebes rises, its skyline a forest of sandstone obelisks and pylons, their electrum tips catching the sun like fire. The market, near the Nile's bank, is a chaotic symphony. Merchants shout, donkeys bray, and women haggle, as Herodotus later noted in his History's Book 2, marveling at Egyptian women's boldness compared to Greek restraint. Stalls brim with goods, Nubian gold and dusty nuggets, Punt's myrrh in resinous clumps, Canaanite wine in clay amphorae, and Byblos cedar in fragrant planks. Your father barters his barley sack for a bronze knife, using Deben weights copper rings equaling a sack's value. As coins don't exist, Nefert trades a bolt of linen for faience beads, her voice sharp as she inspects their glaze. The dear El Medina Ostraca, pottery fragments you'll study, record such trades, detailing linen for fish or grain for oil, all under Mat S balance. A merchant from Punt, his skin dark and glistening, offers myrrh to a priest who weighs it against copper debens. His boat, moored nearby, is laden with leopard skins and ostrich feathers, gifts for the pharaoh's court. As Amana letters describe tribute from Punt, another merchant, from Crete, displays Minoan pottery, its octopus motifs strange to your eyes. Trade binds Egypt to the world, sustaining mat grain feeds the pharaoh's granaries. Myrrh fuels temple rituals, cedar builds barks. Herodotus noted Egypt's wealth, unlike Greek scarcity. But dangers loom. A sailor speaks of a felucca, lost to a Nile storm, its crew praying to Sobek for mercy. Your father buys a small faience ankh, a gift for Nefert, its loop promising life, a charm for safe journeys. After the market, you visit the temple of Karnak, a labyrinth of columns painted with lotuses and Ramses' victories. At the sacred lake, you wash with natron water, its salty tang stinging as a priest inspects. No dirt, no hair. In the house of life, you copy the hymn to the Nile, your reed pen scratching hieratic script. Senenmut, your teacher, speaks of trade's role in Mat, citing the tale of Weneman, a story of a priest's perilous journey to Byblos for cedar. The temple's priests offer myrrh and lotus to Amun-Ra's statue, ensuring cosmic order. A sacred cat based its embodiment, prowls nearby, its mummification promised at death, as Bubastis cemeteries show. Back home, night falls, and your family gathers in the courtyard. Nefert serves lentil stew, its garlic scent comforting. Tea sleepy, tells of the market's colors, clutching her doll. Your father speaks of the Nile's gifts, tying village to world. You climb to the roof, the Milky Way, a Nile of the sky, and pray to Hopi, thanking him for trade's bounty. Dreams, read by priests, may carry omens a boat for Happy's favor. You sleep with your Wedgitai amulet, guarding against disfit, travel and trade. From Nile filicus to desert caravans, bind Egypt to Mat. Herodotus found them vibrant, unlike Greek simplicity. To you, they're normal. The Nile's flow is Egypt's heartbeat, carrying prosperity and order. Breakfast is a festive affair in the courtyard, the sky blushing pink as Ra begins his journey. Nefert serves warm flatbread, its crust slightly charred, alongside sliced onions, dried figs, salted Nile fish, and clay cups of barley beer, the liquid bread of Osiris, its frothy surface sweetened with date syrup. Beer, brewed by women like your mother, is a staple, even for children. Its low alcohol content, nourishing and safe, as the Ebers Papyrus praises for its purity. Before eating, your father crumbles a bit of bread and places it before the niche of Base, the dwarf-like protector god with a leering lion's mane, whispering, "Guard our joy, O Base, from Isfet's shadow." Your mother sprinkles natron, the purifying salt from Wadi Natron, on the low wooden table, ensuring no impurity taints the meal, as the Ebers Papyrus warns that impure food invites disease, a sign of Isfet's intrusion. Pork, taboo for temple visitors, is absent today, as your family will join the temple procession. Nefert scrubs the clay plates with natron water, her hands steady, her eyes bright with anticipation. She speaks softly of Wepetrenpet, how the Nile's flood, swelling with Happy's blessing, renews the land, and how the festival binds Set Mat to the gods. Your father nods, mentioning the lotus flowers you'll offer to Amun-Ra, their white petals a symbol of rebirth. Tea, excited, ties a faience lotus amulet to her wrist, its blue glaze catching the dawn light, a charm to invoke Hatha's joy. The village square, a Paktoth clearing shaded by sycamore trees, buzzes with preparation. Women balance jars of beer on their heads, their linen dresses adorned with faience beads that clink softly. Men carry baskets of grain and fish, while children chase each other, clutching wooden toys painted with lotus motifs. Your neighbor, a tomb builder from Deir el-Medina, polishes a bronze ankh to offer at the temple, its loop gleaming. The air is alive with the scent of roasting goose, myrrh smoke, and the faint temps of Nile water, as villagers purify themselves for the festival. Your Aunt Kemsit, a chantress of Hathor, arrives, her beaded dress shimmering, a sistrum in hand, its metal discs ready to rattle in praise of the goddess. She speaks of the temple's role, how Wepatrenpet renews Mat, ensuring the flood's bounty and Ra's journey. The Book of the Dead urges offerings during festivals, tying communal joy to cosmic order. Offer to the gods, and Mat shall flourish. The road to Thebes is a ribbon of packed earth, winding along the Nile, its surface glinting with Ra's first rays. Feluccas glide past, their sails curved like falcon wings, carrying villagers to the festival, their chants to Hopi mingling with the splash of oars. You carry a basket of lotus flowers, their petals soft and fragrant, while your father shoulders a sack of barley, an offering for Amun-Ra. Thebes rises in the distance, its skyline a forest of sandstone obelisks and pylons, their tips sheathed in electrum that catches the sun like fire. The Karnak complex, heart of Amun-Ra's worship, is a labyrinth of towering columns, each as wide as a house, painted with vibrant scenes, lotuses blooming, falcons soaring, and Ramses II offering to Amen, his cartouche gleaming in blue faience. The temple is a divine home, its layout mirroring the cosmos, as the pyramid texts describe. The temple is the earth, its columns the sky, its lake the waters of Nun. You pause at the sacred lake, a shimmering pool reflecting the sky, washing your hands, feet, and face with natron water, the salty tang stinging your nose. A priest, his shaved head gleaming, his linen robe spotless, inspects you. No dirt, no hair, no blood. These rules, carved in temple inscriptions, ensure Mat's presence, as purity is the god's demand. The Wepatrenpet festival transforms Karnak into a vibrant tapestry of sound and color. The avenue of sphinxes, their ram heads symbolizing Amen, is lined with villagers chanting hymns. Hail, Amun-Ra, bringer of the flood. Priests shaven and clad in spotless linen carry Amun-Ra's golden statue in a cedar bark, its prow adorned with a ram's head, its wood polished to a gleam. The statue, encrusted with lapis lazuli and gold, is veiled in linen, a sacred mystery. As the Book of the Dead prescribes, hide the god's face, for his power is too great. Sistrums rattle, their metallic clinks invoking Hathor, while dancers in beaded linen dresses swirl, their movements mimicking the Nile's flow, their anklets jangling in rhythm. The air is thick with myrrh incense, its smoky sweetness curling upward, and lotus petals scatter like offerings to Mat. Your family joins the procession, Tea clutching her lotus flower, her eyes wide with awe. You carry your basket, the flower's fragrance mingling with the crowd's sweat and the river's damp breath. Priests place offerings, bread, beer, geese, and lotus bouquets for Amun-Ra's statue, each inspected for purity, as a blemished offering could anger the god, disrupting Mat. The Ebers papyrus warns of impure gifts, inviting chaos, a lesson echoed in temple teachings. The festival spills into Thebes' streets, where villagers feast under pomfrond awnings. Golden trays gleam with roast goose glazed with honey, its skin crisp and fragrant, alongside heaps of barley bread, figs, sticky with sweetness, and bowls of lentils spiced with coriander. Clay jars of barley beer, brewed by women like Nefert, line the stalls, their yeasty scent mingling with the floral notes of lotus blossoms scattered on the ground. You sip a clay cup of beer, its frothy taste sweetened with dates, a gift of Osiris, as the hymn to Ninkasi, though Mesopotamian, echoes Egypt's reverence for brewing. Your father pours a sip onto the earth, murmuring, "For Hopi, bringer of the flood," a ritual to ensure abundance, as the hymn to the Nile urges. Herodotus, in his History's Book 2, marveled at Egyptian festivals, noting their love of beer and communal joy. Unlike Greek wine-heavy symposia, he described how Egyptians diluted beer with water for moderation, a practice you see as a priest mixes beer in a bronze bowl. The feast is a communal act, with villagers sharing mats, their laughter rising like a hymn to Hathor. Nobles from Thebes, in pleated kilts and wigs, sit on cushioned seats, their broad collars of carnelian and turquoise glinting, while farmers like your father sit on simpler mats, the hierarchy reflecting Mat's order. Music and dance are the festival's heart. A lute player strums his fingers dancing over strings, while a harpist plucks notes that float like the Nile's ripples. Your Aunt Kemsit, the Hathor chantress, shakes her sistrum, its rattle sharp and rhythmic, invoking the goddess's joy. Dancers, their linen dresses swirling, perform intricate steps, their movements mirroring the stars' paths, a cosmic dance to Mat. Tea claps, her lotus amulets swaying, as children chase each other, dodging trays of dates and onions. The Karnak reliefs depict such scenes, dancers swirling, musicians playing, crowds offering to gods, all under Mat's gaze. Your friend Hori, a tomb builder's son, boasts of joining the festival's mock battle, a ritual reenacting Horus's victory over Seth, his wooden spear raised high. The performance, staged near the temple, draws cheers, its victory symbolizing Mat's triumph over chaos. The festival includes rituals to renew the year. Priests perform the raising of the Jed, lifting a wooden pillar Osiris's spine to symbolize stability, as Saqqara inscriptions describe. Villagers chant, "Rise, O Osiris, renew the land," as the pillar is set upright, a prayer for the Nile's flood. Your father offers the barley sack to Amun-Ra, placing it before the temple altar, while Nefert lays lotus flowers, their petals pure white, a symbol of rebirth. Ti, shy but eager, offers her single lotus, her small hands trembling. The priests bless the offerings, sprinkling natron water to purify them, ensuring Mat's favor. The Book of the Dead urges such acts, offer to the gods, and the year shall be fruitful. Herodotus noted the Egyptians' meticulous rituals, unlike Greek festivals, which lacked such cosmic weight. Back in Set Mat, the festival continues in the village square, where a smaller procession honors the local shrine of Hathor. Women, led by Kemsit, sing hymns, their voices soaring, while men carry a wooden bark with Hathor's statue, its gold face gleaming. The air smells of roast fish, beer, and myrrh, as villagers feast under sycamore trees. Your mother serves lentil stew, its garlic scent comforting, while Ti tells of the dancers, her eyes bright. Your father speaks of the flood's promise, tying the festival to Mat's order. The village cat, sacred to Bastet, prowls nearby, its eyes glinting as it hunts rats, a guardian of harmony. Killing a cat, as Herodotus noted, brings severe penalties, a breach of Mat. As night deepens, you climb to the roof, the Milky Way a Nile of the sky. Its stars a celestial river mirroring the lifeblood of Egypt. You pray to Hathor, thanking her for the festival's joy, and to Hapi for the flood's promise. Your fingers trace the Wedgetai amulet, its cool faience, a reminder of Horus's watchful gaze. Dreams, read by priests, may carry omens: a lotus for Hathor's favor, a falcon for Horus's strength. You sleep, the mat soft beneath you, the night air a gentle caress, secure in Mat's embrace. And so, dear listener, we close our journey through ancient Egypt, where Mary's days in Set Ma'at have woven a tapestry of life, bound by Ma'at's eternal order. From death's rituals to festivals' joy, from the pharaoh's divine court to the Nile's bustling trade, every act, every spell, every offering, upheld the balance that kept chaos at bay. These practices, shocking to outsiders like Herodotus, were Egypt's heartbeat, pulsing through villages like Set Mat to the grand temples of Thebes. The Nile still flows, the stars still shine, and the legacy of Mat lingers in the sands, whispering to us across millennia. As you lie in your quiet corner of the world, whether in Islamabad's pre-dawn hush or Cape Town's morning light, let these ancient echoes lull you to sleep. May your dreams carry the lotus's promise of rebirth, and may Mat's feather guide your heart to peace. Good night, dear restless mind, until the stars call us back again.